So here's a review of something I use a lot, my wok. Thought the best way of giving you a demo of it is to cook something in it. So I'm going to do some fried rice, not with egg because I don't use egg anymore, I'm vegan. But I'll show you when to put the egg in. A simple egg recipe, a simple fried rice. Oh, fuck's sake. So yeah, this is a Ken Hom Wok. I bought it a long time ago, 1997, 98. And the handle's a bit loose. It's a bit dangerous really. I should maybe do the rivets. But you can go to any Chinese supermarket in your local town and buy a wok from there, and that's pretty much what they all use in the takeaways. Very good. The handles are different. This is a flat, semi-flat. You can get totally rounded ones, but then that depends on your cooker, and you might have to put an adapter on there. This is a cast iron spatula. I don't know why I bought cast iron. I kind of just like the idea of it. You don't wash it with soap on a cast iron ever. This is steel, carbon steel, and the blacker the wok, the better the cook. To season it, you heat some oil in it, or you heat it up as hot as you can, and then you drop a bit of oil in there, and then you rub it all around the wok with a paper towel, and then you remove it from the heat, let it cool down a bit, then you put it back on, and you keep doing that, and that will season your wok, and it'll be non-stick. So don't buy a non-stick wok, they're shit because you can't get the proper heat in them. What you need to do is you need to heat the wok as hot as you can. The hotter the better. It has to be hotter than the oil. So you heat the wok first, and then you put the oil in once the wok is hot, and that temperature difference allows it not to stick and to get a good cooking surface and heat. So I'll show you how to cook some fried rice. I've not got much in the fridge today, so I'm just using these few leftover ingredients, but I have them all ready to go because there's no time to do anything when you start to cook. Here's the wok on the heat, heating it up. Once it's hot enough, it'll start to smoke slightly. There you can see some smoke coming off. That means it's ready to start having some oil put in. Maybe a teaspoon of oil, maybe less depending on how much rice you're cooking. I've pretty much got to the point where I can eyeball it now. Lots of mistakes get you to that point though. So here it is. I'm going to add some oil. Make sure to turn your fire alarm off before you do this. I'll switch the oil around the sides to coat the side of the pan because the rice will be going up there as well. Now I'm going to add some chili because I want to flavour the oil. That's what you want to do. If you're doing garlic fried rice, you put the garlic in first to flavour the oil, and then anything you add to the oil will be flavoured. There goes the chili. You put the ingredients in first that you want to flavour the oil with. The onions are going in, and then you put the hard vegetables in so that they cook first because they need longer in the heat. So next it'll be the peppers because they're a hard vegetable, and then it'll be the rice. Be sure to cut all your vegetables the same shapes and sizes so they all cook evenly at the same speed when you put them in. There is a method to the Chinese cooking. It's not just about presentation and looking nice. It's about they all go in the pan at the same time so they cook the same time. Like I say, not much in the fridge today, so some simple ingredients. Cook them in the oil. Keep them moving because if they stay too long they burn because of the high temperature. You could maybe let them go for a little bit longer there. So now I'm just breaking up the rice. The rice is a day old rice from in the fridge and it's cold. And the colder the rice, the better it cooks. And sometimes if it's too cold, it might start sticking to the wok if the temperature gets taken out of the wok. As you can see here, it's not sticking at all because the wok is very hot. To keep breaking those clumps up, you can do it beforehand or do it in the pan like I'm doing. For egg fried rice, you could pre-scramble the egg and then take it out and add it in later at some point, or you could keep stir frying like I'm doing for a while, and you can break the eggs into a well in the middle of make a well in the middle of the rice, a hole, and then break them into the pan that way and scramble them. Or you can break them into a cup and have them ready to go in. But don't pour them over the rice, because if you pour them over the rice, you just get the rice coated in egg and it's not the same. So just keeping it moving so it doesn't burn. Probably less about the timing and more about the texture. You're looking for a texture to start appearing in the rice. Near the end, I'd usually add some light soy sauce or some soy sauce. They're both different products, light soy sauce and soy sauce. And usually the soy sauce is very good if you've gone too far on the rice and it starts to dry out. A lot of people can mess it up, but by adding some soya at the end, you can salvage your rice. It's starting to take the right texture now. I'll be looking at putting the egg in now. If it's not cooked, I put it in now, make a well in the middle, get it half cooked, scrambled up, and then mix it in with the rest of the rice. When I leave the rice in the middle like that, it gets a lot of heat into it. We have to be careful it doesn't burn. If it burns, it really changes the taste and the texture. So it's something you kind of learn how long you can do it for. Breaking the rice up. If you don't do that, you end up with cold rice in those clumps. You can see a slight bit of burnt rice there just from being left too long. Now you can see the rice is starting to clump together and become sticky. When I turn it over, it's all staying together. That shows that it's almost done. It's very easy to go too far at this point and dry the rice out if you continue cooking. But if you do, you can add some soya. Now I'm going to use some sesame oil just to add it in, give it a little nutty flavour. Don't usually like to use it, I usually prefer a bit of soya sauce, but I don't have none at the moment. I'm using it just to show you at what point to add it. A high temperature helps kill any bacteria. There you go, I'll put a bit of oil on, maybe slightly too much there. Now this oil has a low smoking point, so you only coat it and then you're finished. If you try cooking with it too long, it's just going to burn and have a horrible taste. Some spring onions on at the end. And I don't want them cooked, just want them coated in with the rice. So there you go, a simple fried rice dish with some leftovers from the fridge. And yes, there I am cooking bare feet, very dangerous with hot oil splashing around. I have been known to cook naked, it's just I like to live dangerously. You could also add a little curry to this, buy the curry pots from the Chinese supermarkets, and then take 5 minutes on the stove. You can put some vegetables in that if you wanted to. Just makes a more wholesome dish, but there you go.